In this video, I'm going to be showing you on how to configure and actually go through the settings of the Bluetooth controller. I'm going to have a picture of the app that you need to install in order to access the Bluetooth controller for your E-vader. Select the app and then look for the one that's highlighted, which is right there. Select it. It says you want to connect, press OK. Now, if you're doing this for the first time, there is a password that you do need to type in, and that password is going to be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Then press OK. And once you put that password in, it's only a one-time thing. You don't have to ever put that password in ever again. So after that, you're going to be brought to this screen. Now you're going to see on the top that it says accelerator fault. What that means is that you have your kill switch on. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. You can see kill switch is on. So once I hit the kill switch to be off, you're going to see this part say go away. Okay, now that means that the bike is fully on, and as soon as you hit the throttle, you're going to go. But I'm always afraid that something may happen, so I always have it on, so in case I happen to bump onto the throttle or whatnot, you know, my bike's not going to go forward. So I'm going to keep it on. Now, before we get completely into everything, I just want to note that this will be used for your phone or whatever. You have your gauge cluster here, and this is going to be showing you the correct miles per hour only on the phone. It's not going to show in your gauge cluster, even though you're able to configure, you know, the settings and everything. It somehow doesn't convert over to the gauge cluster. It's like the gauge cluster cannot be modified. It's whatever it is, how it's set from the factory, that's how it's going to come. So the only way when you're configuring, only thing you're changing is how the mileage is read on the phone. If you go over on the perimeters, it'll show you're going faster than you normally are. If you have it going under, it may show that you're going, you know, slower than you really are. So just note that all the settings, mainly on the speed part, is only on the phone. Everything else will convert over to the Bluetooth that you actually could use on the bike. The gauge cluster is calibrated for miles per hour. I did get a new gauge cluster from Venom Motorsports, and it displays the speed accurately up to around, I would say, between 10 and 12 miles an hour. After that, the gauge cluster becomes off by 10 miles per hour. If I say I'm going 30 real miles per hour, over here we'll see I'm going 40. So that's only downside to that. I'm not sure why it doesn't accurately show the true miles all the way through, but that's how it is. So if you want it more accurate, it's going to be here on the phone. And if you're going to be using your phone when you ride, you know, that's pretty much you're going to be kind of just counting on the phone for everything. But at the same time, for me, when I ride, I don't really like to use my phone for almost everything, because that's going to drain down my battery on my phone. And if I never need to use it for an emergency, for phone call or whatever, I'm not going to have any juice on the phone, because I'm using it constantly for this and all this other information on this for the Bluetooth module. But anyhow, let's get back to this. So I'm going to go ahead and select miles per hour again, change it back to miles per hour. Now let's go ahead and move on to the bottom. Let me show you everything that's over here at the bottom here and what it means. Over here you have your input voltage. That's your current voltage status. Right now we are at 86% battery life. After that we have our temperature. Can't really change it to Fahrenheit. It's only showing in Celsius. So right now the temperature is 20 degrees Celsius in my garage. After that we have our working status hall sensor. And then we have an AVS mode. Not sure what that really stands for. Then you have your odometer miles. It's always going to show 0. Unfortunately, even if you ride, it'll show your mileage. But once you turn off the phone and turn it back on, or you turn off the bike and turn it back on, it's always going to reset to 0. That's another minus. Other than that, we have our input current. Right now we're not riding, so it's not showing us anything. Our trip distance, again, it's going to show you, as long as you have your phone on, it'll show you the distance that you're going. But as soon as you turn off the phone or turn off the bike and turn off everything and go back to the app again, it's going to show as 0 again. Over here you have your mode. Now this is going to be for your 3 modes that you have on your bike. You have a 1, 2, and 3. So the first one is going to be considered energy mode. Then when you select number 2, it's going to be considered the normal mode. Then when you select number 3, it's going to be considered the high speed mode. Now honestly guys, first mode is okay. You really feel it more once you go from number 1 to number 2. That's where you feel a little jolt, not too crazy where it's going to make you fly off your seat. But when you go to number 2 to number 3, you're not going to feel much of anything. You will hear it when if I were to put the bike up on the stand. You can hear the differences when you hit 1, 2, and 3 as a whining sound. You could actually hear the differences. But as far as riding and feeling it, you're not going to feel anything. The next we have max miles per hour, the maxed out speed you're going. And then after that we have remaining distance in miles. I'm not sure if that's really going to be showing you currently as you ride how much remaining mileage you have on the bike. Haven't really tested that part out. So that's that. And I'm not sure if it resets to 0 when you turn off the app or turn off the bike. I'm not sure if it resets all of that information. All right, so that's pretty much it for this front part of the app. Now let's go into the configuration settings of the Bluetooth module. All right, so to go to that part, you're going to select over here at the bottom where it says me. So go ahead and select me. After that, we're going to go here to the top and you're going to see some different settings here. You're going to see system settings, vehicle calibration, about, or restore the factory mode settings. First, we're going to go over to the system settings. Select that. And now you have all of these options down here. And it keeps on going. It just goes up to, I would say probably about there until at the bottom where it says, restore the factory settings. All right, so let me go one by one and actually telling you what each one of these settings does. All right, this first one is called the fast start. If you select it, you could actually select the percentage of how fast you want your bike to take off when you are riding. I usually have it off because that kind of messes with my modes, 1, 2, and 3, and I kind of like my modes. Let's go back. Then you have soft start. Now this means how soft do you want the accelerator to, when you give it power? Do you want it to be a nice gradual takeoff? So if you do fast start, you really can't select the soft start because it's kind of contradicting itself. And you could select from 1 to whatever on how softly you want the bike to take off. Next, we have overspeed on and off. So over here, just pretty much overspeed ratio of the speedometer. So if you calibrate it, well, I'll show you that a little bit later in the video, but when you calibrate it, you notice that the speed ratio is kind of off by maybe 1 mile an hour or 2 or whatever. You could actually go over here and select the speed ratio and just move it over little by little. And then you got your low speed ratio. Just kind of play around with that until you get your speedometer dialed in correctly. After that, we have the forward reverse. Over here it says positive. I wouldn't touch it. I would leave it. I think if you if you select it, you could reverse the polarity of the motor. So when you give it power, instead of going forward, you're going to go backwards. Next, we have manual cruise. Your bike is going to be already set to manual cruise. Right now I have my bike set to auto cruise. That's pretty cool because now you could actually set your speed and it's pretty much cruise control. And you just got to hold the throttle for 13 seconds and then it'll lock in that speed. You could go as slow as 8 miles an hour. I think it's the slowest you could set the speed. And then you could set it to the highest, 32 miles an hour on the bike. Next, and if you don't care for cruise control, because sometimes you're riding and you're holding on to the throttle for a while, you're going to notice that, hey, why am I not going any more faster? It's because the counter had started and it kind of locked in that speed that you're doing. So in order to get out of it, you just got to either hit the brakes or, give a little blip of the throttle and that'll get you out of that speed. So like I said, if that's not something you're comfortable with, just turn it off and just go back to manual cruise. Okay, next we have is speed limit. Now, if you select that, you could actually control the amount of speed that your E-vader will go. Say that you have a new rider or you having some friends over or family over and they want to ride your E-vader. You could let them ride it. Just go into the settings here, turn that on, and then you could select the speed that it could go. You could up to 60% of the full amount of speed. Or if you want to limit them down, you could put it as low as 30% of the total speed. Therefore, they cannot go past that, percentage when riding to make it safe for them to ride and not trash your bike, honestly. Next, we have the reverse speed limit. Now, the reverse speed limit, you could select that, and then, it's pretty much when you let go of the throttle, that pretty much just slows down the bike. Okay, go back. Then after that, we have EBS brake. Now what that's gonna do is every time you let go of the throttle and you start braking, it's gonna put a little bit of juice back into your battery. So if you go over here, so you select it and you can go ahead and turn it on. Once you turn it on, you could select between 1 and 10 of how much braking power or whatnot you want to regenerate for the voltage to the battery. So it's like regen. After that, we have our battery current limit. I have it set to 100% because I want to be able to use 100% of my battery. And if you don't want to use 100% of your battery, you could actually change it to, you know, whatever percentage you want, as low as 50%. After that, we have our phase current, so which that's right here, phase current limit A. So right here, you just go ahead and select it to 50% actually, if you only want to use that amount, or you could use the full amount at 100%. I keep it at 100%. Okay. After that, we have our Hall sensor phase angle. You want to keep that always at 120 because that's how smooth you want your motor to run. If you select something other than 120, if you select 60 and you try running your motor, you're going to feel how clunky it is. It's not going to be smooth and it's going to struggle. It's already preset for you. I wouldn't change it. Okay, after the Hall sensor, next we have our eco mode. So say you're out there, you want to conserve as much power as you can for your ride. So go ahead and select eco mode. So now you're in economy mode and it's not really going to allow you to, you know, go full force on anything, and it's just gonna, you'll kind of gradually, you know, take off and stuff like that. So it's just pretty much going to give you the most amount of range as possible. Good for a very long, I wouldn't say very long distance ride, but a longer distance than normal ride. You definitely want to select eco mode. After that, we have the adjustment accelerator curve. I have it on. I have no idea what really that does. So if you were to select it, nothing really pops up, so you really can't really change anything. After that, we have boost mode. So when you select that, it gives you just that little extra boost when riding on the bike. Again, it's not a significant amount of boost that you're gonna feel. It's not like it's gonna be hitting nitrous and you're gonna get that extensive boost feeling. I think it just gives you just a little bit of boost when selecting in between the gears. Again, like I said, I think you're gonna feel it most when going from mode 1 to mode number 2. You will feel a little boost, not that much. When you go for mode 2 to 3, you will not feel anything. Heck, you won't even notice that you're even going any much more faster, as I don't think it even goes that much faster to begin with from mode 2 to 3. So that's that. I have it on, you know, maybe just the thought of having boost makes me feel like I'm going faster, who knows. After that, the last thing we have is our low voltage threshold. For you not to go past a certain amount of the battery threshold, I have it set to 40%. You could go as low as 0 if you want to deplete the whole entire battery. I don't want to do that, so you know, you could set it as low as 0, or you could set it to 255, which is, I have no idea why you would even do that, but it's there. I'm gonna go back to 40%. Or maybe I should do I'm going to try 35% and see for next time. But I probably wouldn't go any lower than 35% on the low voltage. So once I hit that, that's going to kind of put me in a limp mode where I won't be able to get the full amount of potential power from the battery. Therefore, it will save the battery. So I'll have enough, you know, hopefully I have enough juice to actually make it home. So like I said, I haven't fully tested this out. I've only tested it out a little bit. So again, you don't want to completely deplete the batteries to 0 because you may not be able to recharge them back. All right, so last one we have here is called motor lock. Now, if you saw my last video on how to install an alarm, that actually has the motor lock already built into it, so you don't have to do anything. But say you never got that alarm system, you could actually still lock your motor. So in order to do that, just go ahead and press it. So you're gonna select it. Turn it on. Now your rear hub motor is locked. You're going to save it. So go ahead and press save. So now that it's saved, let me give you a further out view, and you can see that when you try to move your bike, it's not going to go anywhere because it has that locking mechanism in the motor, therefore preventing it from being moved, which is a pretty cool, you know, feature. So let me show you. All right, so we're going over to the bike. I'm just going to move it from the back end here. All right, so let me just go from the front end to show you that the bike won't move. And you can hear it. It doesn't want to move. It's actually locked in place. So that's a pretty cool feature to have for the Bluetooth system. And now, no, when you go back to your bike, you got to make sure that you go into the settings and unlock the motor lock system so you can actually ride your bike, because you won't go anywhere if you have it still on there. Note that whatever settings you actually do use on the phone, that you go to the save button. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock my motor, and I don't want it to have it locked. So I'm going to make sure that on the bottom here, and you don't have to scroll up and down to get to the save button. The save button is always going to be there. So like I said, once you do your settings to make sure that everything goes, the information goes to the Bluetooth, just go here and press save. Alright, so next what we're going to do is we're going to go and do a calibration. I'm going to go ahead and select back. And what we're going to do right now, we are going to go over to the vehicle settings. Alright, so we are going to go to vehicle calibration. Now, vehicle calibration is going to calibrate the miles per hour on the phone. So note that it's only going to calibrate on the phone. It's not going to calibrate on the gauge cluster, which is a real big shame. I thought it would do that, and that's what I got excited for, but it doesn't. So all the settings and everything will be calibrated only on the phone, so you will get an accurate reading only on the phone. The magic number to have it calibrated for miles per hour is you want a conversion ratio of 150. If you're here, you're gonna scroll here and you're gonna turn on the calibration. So you're gonna turn it on. You're gonna have a start distance and an end distance. And then if you scroll again, you're gonna see conversion ratio. But just a real quick explanation is that you're going to park your bike, put your side stand down, then you're gonna press start. Once you push start distance, you're gonna move your bike, I would say a few feet, maybe do a few feet at a time. So maybe move it 5 feet. Then you're gonna stop moving your bike, put it back on your kickstand, then you're going to press N distance. A number is going to pop up. Then you're going to move it, scroll down to conversion ratio. You're going to press that. If it shows the number 150, you're set, because now it's going to calibrate. It's going to show the correct miles per hour that you're doing. If it doesn't show 150, and say it shows 120, keep on calibrating until you get to the number 150. If it shows more than 150, you're going to have to completely reset everything to go back to 150. And if that happens, if you say you pass 150, you do 280, just go to the top. And I think there'll be a spot up here in the top that says restore back to 130. Just press that and the numbers will go back to 130. So really you just got to go up 20 clicks to get to 150. So maybe you want to go a little bit less than 5 feet, but you're just going to keep on having to, trial and error until you get to that 150 conversion ratio. So that's pretty much it for that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, as I don't want to mess with that anymore. Go back, and then after that you have the about. That kind of just tells you about the system. It doesn't really show me anything here. I don't know why it's all white. I mean, over here it says version 1.0 and that's about it. And then language is English and nothing else. Then restore factory settings. I'm not going to press that because I don't want to restore anything, as I already had calibrated all my settings. And that's about it. And then if we go back to the status, you're going to see obviously the miles per hour. You have your power button. So if you wanted to turn it off, just go ahead and press this, and it's going to say if you want to disconnect, yes or no. It's going to say okay or cancel. I'm going to press cancel for now. And then over here you have a letter E with a little symbol that's either English or Chinese. You could see that it actually changed the language, and you could see I'm guessing it's either Mandarin or Cantonese. I'm not 100%, but obviously it's not English. That's the language that shows. So obviously we're not going to select that because I'm here in America, so we're going to put it back to English. I'm going to go ahead and select that. Now everything's back to English. And that's pretty much it for everything that you need to know on the Bluetooth module settings. Sorry that it keeps on unfocusing there, guys. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to leave them down in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. If you know anyone else that has this Venom Motorsports E-vader, please share my video. It also helps me out tremendously on the channel, knowing that you guys are enjoying my content. If you hated the video, give me a thumbs down. Let me know in the comments down below why you hated my video to help me improve for a future episode. Also, if you know someone else that bought an E-vader as well, share this video to them, and also share the other video that I have, which is how to install the Bluetooth module. Speaking of Bluetooth module, the Bluetooth module, it comes from AliExpress. Now there is a lot of counterfeits out there. I actually put the true Bluetooth module on that video. I also have the Bluetooth module in this video, so only click on that link and ordering that one. Don't search, because you're not going to get the right one. So that's it. Unfortunately, they don't sell that Bluetooth module on eBay or Amazon. I've tried to look and they don't have it. I don't know. So just, it's going to take you a while to get the module. The module costs around $20, and that's going to cost you another $20 to have it shipped. So it'll be $40 altogether for the Bluetooth module. And that's pretty much it for that. Other than that, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Take care.